Most drivers have no idea how Japanese motorists manage to squeeze unbelievable mileage from the same cars we drive here. For decades, they have used hidden fuel-saving habits almost nobody outside Japan talks about. Not gimmicks, not myths, but smart techniques that make engines run smoother, cooler, and far more efficient. Today, you will learn 12 real driving techniques from Japan that can cut your fuel use by up to 50%, starting the moment you get behind the wheel. If your car seems to burn more fuel every month, this video will show you why. You will discover the hidden mistakes draining your tank, the habits Japanese drivers swear by, and how these simple adjustments transform your miles per gallon without buying anything or modifying your car. These are secrets workshops do not share, but you are about to learn all 12. The soft start rule explains how Japanese drivers do not waste fuel when leaving every stop. In Japan, drivers are taught how to pull away from a stop without wasting fuel. Their rule is simple. Reach about 20 kilometers per hour in 5 seconds with gentle throttle, not a hard launch. That might sound slow, but here is why it works. The moment you mash the gas from a standstill, your engine dumps extra fuel to overcome inertia. Gentle acceleration cuts that spike dramatically and keeps the engine in its most efficient RPM range. Japanese eco-driving campaigns recommend soft starts and early upshifts for exactly this reason: smooth torque, not sudden bursts. Combine that with looking far ahead and timing lights so you do not have to stop completely. Every full stop you avoid is a full zero to that speed acceleration you no longer pay for. If you currently slam the pedal at every green light and race to the next red light, just switching to the Japanese soft start style can easily shave 10 to 20% off your fuel use in city traffic. Stack it with the other techniques, and that is where up to 50% starts to become real. 2. Drive like you are on rails. Steady speed, no drama. Japanese eco-driving training focuses heavily on keeping a steady, economical speed instead of constantly speeding up and slowing down. Rapid acceleration and hard braking are fuel killers. Every time you surge forward and then stab the brakes, you convert fuel into useless heat in your brakes instead of motion. Their goal on normal roads is moderate speeds, minimal fluctuation, early upshifts, and staying in the green zone of the tachometer where the engine is most efficient. The trick is anticipation. Japanese drivers are trained to look far ahead, read traffic flow, and adjust early, lifting off the throttle instead of reacting late and braking hard. That way, they coast more, brake less, and rarely need big throttle inputs. On highways, this means picking a realistic cruising speed and sticking to it instead of yo-yoing between 60 and 80 miles per hour. Even a 10 kilometers per hour reduction in cruising speed can noticeably cut fuel consumption. In testing, proper eco-driving in this style has been shown to reduce fuel use by around 10 to 20% on average without touching the car, just by smoothing out your right foot. One of the biggest differences between Japanese drivers and everyone else, they absolutely hate unnecessary idling. Government campaigns in Japan target this: engines off at long traffic lights, off while waiting for someone, off in parking lots. Why? Because idling gets you 0 miles per gallon. Studies and eco-driving programs show that just 10 minutes of idling can waste over 100 milliliters of fuel, and if you do that several times a day, you are burning fuel for nothing. Modern engines do not need long warm-ups. Japanese guidance is: start the engine, wait a few seconds for oil pressure, then drive gently to warm it up. Long idling warm-ups just burn fuel and cause extra soot buildup. In dense cities, many Japanese cars now use idle stop systems that automatically shut the engine off at stops, but you can mimic the same effect manually if your car does not have it. Combine no pointless idling with smart warm-ups and you slash a surprising amount of waste. For urban drivers who sit a lot, this alone can cut fuel use by 5 to 15%. Stack that with soft starts and steady speed driving, and you are getting very close to that up to 50% fuel saving in real life. Master coasting, Japan's most underestimated fuel trick. If there is one habit Japanese drivers rely on more than almost any other, it is coasting, letting the car move with zero throttle while maintaining momentum. This is not just rolling downhill, it is a planned technique built into every driving decision. The moment they see traffic slowing, a light turning red, or a car braking ahead, they lift off early instead of reacting late. Modern engines cut fuel entirely during deceleration, meaning coasting uses literally zero fuel. In Japan, coasting is not seen as lazy driving, it is smart driving. They plan far ahead, avoid unnecessary braking, and preserve kinetic energy instead of wasting it as heat. Every time you slam the brakes, you are burning fuel you already paid for. Every time you coast, you keep that fuel working for you longer. This technique shines in city driving, where speed is constantly fluctuating. Done correctly, coasting reduces brake wear, improves miles per gallon dramatically, and keeps the engine in its efficient range more often. When combined with soft starts and steady speed driving, coasting can easily shave another 5 to 10% off your fuel use. It is one of the simplest ways to drive more like Japan and save like Japan. 5. Lighten the load and minimize drag like Japanese car owners do. Fuel saving in Japan is not just about driving, it is about reducing everything that makes the engine work harder. Many drivers regularly clean out their trunks, remove unused racks, and avoid carrying unnecessary weight. Even 50 to 100 extra pounds can bump fuel consumption noticeably in smaller engines, and Japanese cars tend to be compact, so smart owners keep them as light as possible. But weight is only half the story. The real silent killer of fuel economy is aerodynamic drag. An empty roof rack, a box on top of the car, even window visors at high speed, they all create resistance the engine must fight. Japanese drivers, taught through eco-driving campaigns, understand that once you hit highway speeds, drag becomes more important than weight. That is why you see fewer roof carriers left on their cars year-round, and fewer permanent accessories that ruin airflow. Small changes make a big difference. Removing roof bars, keeping tires at proper pressure, and not driving with windows wide open at high speeds. Together, these tweaks can reduce fuel use another 5 to 12%. It is not one big change. It is dozens of tiny optimizations Japan treats seriously. Number 6. Use eco mode and smart shift techniques like Japanese drivers. Eco mode isn't a gimmick. In Japan, drivers use it constantly because it smooths throttle response, shifts earlier, and keeps the engine in its most efficient RPM range. In busy Japanese cities, where speed limits are lower and traffic is constant, eco mode prevents unnecessary power spikes that waste fuel. Instead of giving you full throttle instantly, it forces gentle acceleration, basically training your car to follow Japanese driving philosophy automatically. For manual and older automatic cars, Japanese driving schools teach early, smooth upshifting and avoiding high RPM unless necessary. They aim to keep engines in their efficiency band, where fuel burns cleaner and torque is plentiful. Revving to the red line is rare, even moderate RPM is used sparingly. Another trick is cruise control on open roads, but not in traffic. Cruise holds a steady speed and prevents unconscious speed up and slow down cycles that waste fuel. In traffic, eco-driving relies more on anticipation, which cruise control cannot do. These electronic and manual techniques improve efficiency without slowing you down or making driving boring. Used daily, they can reduce fuel use by another 10 to 15%, a massive gain when stacked with the other Japanese methods. 7. Tire pressure discipline, Japan's most overlooked fuel saver. In Japan, checking tire pressure is not a once every few months task. It is part of regular driving life. The reason is simple: underinflated tires are fuel killers. Even being 5 psi low can increase rolling resistance enough to cost you 3 to 5% more fuel per tire. Multiply that by all 4 tires, and you are burning fuel without even realizing it. Japanese drivers typically check tire pressure every 2 to 4 weeks, especially during temperature changes. Cold mornings drop PSY, and they adjust accordingly. Many stations even offer digital pressure systems so drivers can top up quickly and consistently. But there is a second layer: they do not overinflate either. Too much air reduces traction and increases wear. They aim for the manufacturer's recommended range, sometimes adding 1 to 2 psi for long highway travel. This small trick is used by taxi drivers to improve efficiency without sacrificing safety. Proper alignment is also part of this practice. Even slight misalignment drags the car sideways, forcing the engine to burn extra fuel just to push the tires straight. That is why Japanese shops do frequent alignment checks and drivers take it seriously. This combo of correct PSI plus proper alignment can save 5 to 10% on fuel with almost zero effort. Use high-quality fuel and keep injectors clean. Japanese drivers follow a simple rule: good fuel equals cheaper driving. Poor quality fuel burns dirtier, leaves more deposits, and forces the engine to use more fuel to achieve the same power. That is why many Japanese stations adhere to strict additive standards, and drivers tend to choose stations known for cleaner fuel. Where the real savings happen is injector cleanliness. Even small amounts of buildup reduce spray efficiency, making your engine use more fuel to compensate. In Japan, drivers commonly use high detergent fuel occasionally, run injector cleaners at recommended intervals, or get professional cleaning from 80,000 to 120,000 kilometers. Modern engines, especially direct injection, benefit massively from clean injectors. Good spray patterns create better combustion, smoother idle, quicker throttle response, and lower fuel consumption. Many drivers also pay attention to carbon buildup. Instead of waiting for symptoms, they prevent them. Regular use of proper fuel and periodic cleaning ensures the engine burns efficiently for years. Smooth combustion equals higher miles per gallon, and it is one of the hidden reasons Japanese cars often get better mileage even when they are old. Reduce short trips and combine journeys like Japan's eco-drivers. Here is something most drivers do not think about. Short trips are the enemy of fuel economy. Engines burn the most fuel when cold, and Japanese drivers know this better than anyone. A 5-minute drive to the store, that is where your miles per gallon disappears. The engine never reaches optimal temperature, oil stays thick, fuel trims run rich, and efficiency collapses. Japan's eco-driving system encourages drivers to combine errands into one longer trip instead of many cold starts. For example, groceries, the pharmacy, and a fuel stop are all done in one loop instead of 3 separate drives. This minimizes cold engine operation and dramatically reduces wasted fuel. They also avoid unnecessary engine starts. If the trip is extremely short, they walk, bike, or delay it. Not always possible in every country, but the principle is powerful. The fewer cold starts, the more fuel you save. This alone can recover 10 to 20% of fuel loss for drivers who frequently make many small trips. It also reduces engine wear, carbon buildup, fuel dilution in the oil, and long-term maintenance costs. Fewer cold starts is not just a fuel-saving technique, it is an engine-saving technique Japan has perfected. Smart use of engine braking, the Japanese free fuel technique. Japanese drivers use engine braking not just for safety, but for fuel savings, and most Western drivers have no idea why it works. Modern engines cut fuel completely during deceleration when you lift your foot off the throttle. That means 0 liters per 100 kilometers while slowing down. 0. Instead of coasting with a tiny bit of throttle or riding the brake, Japanese drivers time their deceleration early. Approaching a red light? They ease off early and let the engine braking slow the car. Going downhill? Let the engine hold speed instead of dragging brakes. This strategy reduces brake wear, prevents overheating rotors, and saves real fuel because the ECU shuts the fuel injectors entirely during engine braking. But the trick is smoothness. No aggressive downshifts, no harsh braking, just predictable deceleration that takes advantage of the engine's built-in fuel cut. Over time, this habit trims 5 to 10% off fuel use, reduces heat stress, and keeps the engine working in its cleanest state. Japan's eco-driving schools teach this as a core skill because it delivers free improvement in miles per gallon, requiring 0 effort and 0 modifications. Most drivers never learn it, but once you start doing it, your fuel consumption drops immediately. Lighten the load. Japan's minimalist approach to efficiency. Most cars on the road carry unnecessary weight. Tools, sports gear, crates, water jugs, old parts, extra fluids, and random stuff in the trunk. Japanese drivers avoid this completely because they know something crucial. Every extra 100 pounds, 45 kilograms, can reduce fuel economy by 1 to 2%. In a country where fuel costs are notoriously high, Japanese motorists maintain a clean car equals cheap car mindset. They regularly empty the trunk, remove unused accessories, and avoid rooftop carriers unless absolutely needed. Even floor mats and seat covers are simpler and lighter. Taxi fleets in Japan are especially strict. Before every shift, drivers must check that the trunk is empty and free of weight. Rideshare drivers do the same. The trick is not about stripping your car, it is about carrying only what you actually need. Combined with proper tire pressure and smart driving, weight reduction makes a noticeable difference in real-world miles per gallon. It also reduces strain on suspension components, brakes, wheel bearings, and CV joints. Less weight equals less resistance equals less fuel burned. It is one of the easiest Japanese habits you can adopt today, and it starts with cleaning your trunk. Number 12. Ultra-smooth acceleration, the secret behind Japan's legendary miles per gallon. Japanese drivers accelerate differently, and it is one of the biggest reasons they achieve such high fuel efficiency even in older cars. Instead of flooring the gas or creeping too slowly, they use a specific acceleration curve called progressive throttle. The idea is simple. Accelerate firmly enough to get the car moving efficiently, then hold a steady throttle as early as possible. No surging, no pumping the pedal, no rapid changes. Why it works. Engines burn the most fuel during rapid throttle changes. By holding a stable input, the engine control unit stabilizes fuel trims, the torque converter locks sooner, and the engine reaches its ideal efficiency faster. This habit also reduces carbon buildup, prevents unnecessary downshifts, and keeps engine speed in the sweet spot, usually between 1,500 and 2,500 revolutions per minute on most engines. Japanese instructors call this the one smooth motion technique. Paired with early upshifts and maintaining momentum, it results in massive fuel savings. It improves comfort, reduces drivetrain wear, and makes every car, hybrid, gasoline, diesel, or turbocharged engine run cleaner and smoother. It is one of the biggest reasons Japanese daily drivers routinely outperform Western miles per gallon numbers with identical vehicles. If these Japanese fuel tricks helped you, hit subscribe for more tips that save you money every time you drive. Comment below. Which trick will you start using today?